They're looking for a relief, and we talk about, and it's not in the past, but it has to be in a new future, whatever that means,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there's a quote I like. It says, "If we don't learn the lessons of the past, we're doomed to repeat them." You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we go in like a circular fashion. We we have so many technological advancements, but we have not learned how to be at peace with ourselves and with others.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the big challenges that we have all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
How to have true shalom, right?
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Shalom.
to
Mm-hmm.
make it a reality in our interpersonal lives within ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
within the people in our households and in our communities. How do we move forward to true shalom? This is I think one of the seminal questions throughout the ages.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Cain slew Abel, and we're still in the quagmire, right? We're still
Mm-hmm.
we're still in the quagmire, and we're still in the illusion that Ein Sof doesn't hear and understand. And one of the most, I think, for me, one of the most powerful parts of that scripture is when God says to Cain, the blood of your brother is crying to me from the grave.
Mm-hmm.
That he killed Abel's body, but his soul was still communicating. You know,
Mm-hmm. We
yeah.
should speak about it. Thank you, Shelton.
Yeah, that's a
Thank you.
whew. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a heavy one right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's say good morning to the participants. Good morning, Fernando. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Leo. Good afternoon, Charles.
Hello, Eti. Shalom Bekulam. How are you guys?
Shalom, shalom. Nice to hear you, Leo.
Shalom, shalom, Eti. Good evening. Hello, Shelton, Leo,
Shalom, shalom.
Jeff, Charles.
Nice to hear you.
Yes,
Nice.
good to hear you all.
How was your weekend?
It was nice. It was very good around here. It's a little cold. We have yesterday strong winds around here. It was like a hurricane, but a a cyclone. In fact, I think in English it's a cyclone. It was a lot of wind here in Porto Alegre yesterday, but everything is fine. Just a little cold.
Good to hear you. Good morning. Good afternoon, Charles. I hope the chef will return. He just popped out. Charles, can you hear us? Charles? Jeff, good morning. Hello, Jeff. So until Charles and Jeff will come out, we shall hear their voices. Please feel free to reflect and to ask questions if there is something on your mind that you would like to ask.
I have a question, if I may.
Yes.
I'm sorry if my audio we have some constructions around here. I hope I didn't disturb the class with the noise.
No.
I have one question. I read just this morning what you put on Slack on VineRap about the language and the power of the word, I could say. And now, just moments ago, you put it about the importance of telling stories like an enveloped story, the importance. I was reading the 7 prophetizes from Weinreb, and I couldn't understand one passage where he said about Sarai that she must be hidden when Abram went to Egypt, Mitzrayim.
Yeah.
He put a veil on Sarai, and Weinreb says that Sarai could represent the word, because the word is the most precious thing. And I was wondering what you think about this, Eti, because when you do not put a veil on the word, the divine word, it happens what happened to Sarai, like the Pharaoh wants to take this word and to, if you could say something about this passage on the Bible, or what you think about it, I'll be glad.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Felipe.
Good evening, Eti, and all friends. Good morning, good evening.
Nice to hear you all. Nice to hear you.
Evening,
Fernando,
Eti.
good evening. Fernando was asking a question. He was reading the book of Weinreb, the 7 prophetesses, and he asked a question about Sarai, about the wife of Abraham. When they were approaching Egypt, yes, Fernando? Abraham, what Abraham did to his wife?
He hidden her.
He hid her, yes, in a box or something. And Weinreb says there is a meaning to this deed of Abraham. Abraham, there's a famine in the land of Canaan, and Abraham and Sarai are approaching Egypt, but Abraham is afraid, and he covers his wife, so to speak. The Lord says that he put her in a box, that nobody will notice she exists. And Weinreb translate or explain this lore or this deed as a new picture, meaning Sarai is like a word, the Hebrew word, and when they are approaching Egypt, so to speak, the word of duality, the word or Sarai has to be hidden. This is the question, Fernando?
Exactly, Eti. Exactly this question. Why is that? Yes.
Why is there are a few questions here, and let's see what interests you in most. The question is why Weinreb associate Sarai, Abraham's wife, with a word. Why does he think in such a lateral way? And second question is why to cover Sarai? In terms of humans, we understand. And why to cover the word in Egypt? And what the story teaches us in general. So we can start answering those questions.
Can I,
Yes?
Eti, can I add to the
Yes.
question, maybe?
Yeah.
I think, and maybe I'm mixing up the stories, but later Abraham says that she is his sister
Yes.
and not his wife.
Yes.
And how is that connected to the answers that you're going to share with us now?
Oh, it's
Is there a
in the
relationship?
past. Yes, there is a relationship. It's a deep path that we have to cross it slowly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, are you familiar with the story, or shall I bring the chapter Genesis 12 that we shall see what is going on? Are you familiar with the story, or first we have to refresh our memory that we should not go on air? Leo, please tell me, Charles,
I
are you
am
there?
familiar. I'm familiar. I read a long time ago, but I remember it.
You remember it. Is there any need to refresh the memory? I'll put the text, Genesis 12 here. If somebody wants to read, he can read
I
and
can
ask
read it.
question. You
I
want to
can
read
read
it?
I can read it.
Okay.
Now the Lord said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto the land that I will show thee. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and be thou a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and him that curseth thee will I curse. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abram went, as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the terebinth of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give thee land. And he builded there an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto the mountain on the east of Bethel, and having Bethel on the west, and Ai on the east. And he built there an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land. And Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was sore in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. And it will come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they will say, This is his wife, and they will kill me. But thee they will keep alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and that my soul may live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. And the princes of Pharaoh saw her, and praised her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he dealt with Abram for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen and he asses and men servants and maid servants and she asses and camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst not tell me that she was thy wife? Why sayest thou, She is my sister? So I took her to be my wife. Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh gave men charge concerning him, and they brought on the way, and his wife, and all that he had.
Thank you. So before we go to the minor reading of the text, what do we see here? What is the general story?
It's the going down from Canaan to Egypt. Abram is going down with Sarai. And when they entered Egypt, he said to Sarai that she is her, to say that they are brother and sister, because he knows that the Pharaoh would kill him if he knows that was her wife. And after that, Pharaoh tries to take Sarai as his wife, but the Lord says to Pharaoh that his wife from Abraham, and everything turns out okay. at this night, like everything goes well to Abram and Sarai.
Now, the question is valid. Why does Weinreb think or defines Sarai as a word?
Because she's the female, the manifestation, I think, if I remember. She's the number 4.
Yes. And because she, according to the law, we did not read yet the law, in the law she was put in the box. He hid her in a box. Or in a teva. The word is teva. He hid her in a teva. He hid his wife in a teva, like the word of God, the Torah, is, so to speak, is in the cabinet. A word should be hidden. The word, everyone. Because the word is carrying a message from the world beyond. Another aspect is between the word in Hebrew and Elohim. Word in Hebrew, milah, has the value of 85. Elohim, with additional aleph, God, has the value of 86. In other words, where is the aleph, the unity, hides?
In the word.
In the word. This is why he has to hide Sarah. In one lower, he put it in a teva. In another, he covers her with a veil. The unity has to be covered because they are approaching Egypt, they're approaching the duality. In a way, there is no space for unity in the duality. It's like different worlds. Unity has nothing to do with Egypt. Is that clear?
Yes.
So are you saying that Egypt represents domination?
Domination?
Or conquest, or it's the antithesis of unity?
The word by itself the word milah, in a way, is a bridge between the hidden and the manifested. The word, in a way, carries a meaning from beyond. But in Egypt, there is no interest whatsoever in the message that comes from the world beyond. It has nothing to do with it. They're not interested in it because in Egypt, or it's not even geographical Egypt, but the concept of Egypt wants everything here and now and frontal and short. And in a way, the word is too gentle to appear in Egypt.
I think
Yes.
something. The after they went out of Egypt, Egypt, or even in Egypt, I don't remember. God takes the yod of Sarai and divides into two halves,
Mhm.
and gives 5 to Abram and 5 for her. And I was thinking about the word sar, because it's like a minister,
Yes.
and without the yod, just thinking like Sarah was like the minister with the
Mhm.
like a representing the unity in Egypt,
Mhm.
something like that.
Mhm. Because you say Sarai is like, if I understand you well, it's like 500.
Yes,
Sar is like Sar, minister. Only 2 letters are 500,
yes,
and so he hides it because the world of Egypt is the world of the 400. So he hides her, so to speak.
yes. I would actually. It's interesting. I was reading Vine Rep as well, and just in this part when he talks about the word of the 50, which couldn't exist in our word of space-time, and the 50 and the 500 do not stand in the word of manifestation of duality.
Mhm.
So in a way, it fits well because the Sar had to be hidden, could not be seen actually, even. I mean, if nobody had hidden it, maybe it would not be seen because it could not be seen, the 500.
Mhm.
Just some hints.
It's good. It's good. There is an understanding that the word is too sensitive to be revealed in Egypt. And it has to do also how Weinreb in a way writes the next text about the scroll of Esther. There are things, or in a way this is to teach us that we cannot speak certain words or ideas in the places that would not be accepted. A word also holds a secret of the world beyond. Egypt has nothing to do with secrets, with intimacy. Everything is transparent. Everything you can show data. In our times, you can speak to people. What do they eat? Database, numbers, waves,
Yes.
tendencies. So in those communities, the word has nothing to do, because the word milah carries a message from beyond, and the message of beyond is not wanted in Egypt. People just want to consume the graphs, the database, numbers. This is what speaks to them. They don't want to hear that there's another hidden world which is existing somewhere. So it's like you take an ice cream to the desert. It will melt, so you put it in a cooling box.
This passage reminds me a little bit of the First Chronicles 13, 1 through 14, when David had the Ark of the Covenant went to Obed-Edom's house.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe kind of a reverse though, because when the Ark of the Covenant went to his house, he received blessings, right?
Mm-hmm.
This idea of something that comes into your home can either come with a blessing or a curse. It reminds me of that story of David and the Ark of the Covenant and Obed-Edom in 1 Chronicles 13.
Thank you.
And Eti, if I
Yes.
may ask you, this is so. I thank you for you. You put a lot of light yet. I have just one more question. What do you think about how could we take care of our words, the words that we use? Because like you think about this in the podcast, or you think about this when you are in the classes, and I'm trying to put it in our daily lives. It seems that the word could only be manifested when we have intimacy or something like
Yes.
that.
Yes, between people, that in a way there are like two ways of communication, like the mechanical speech, like people come to a place, they ask for a coffee, like mechanical speech, and secret level or intimacy. And this is very, very rare to find in a lifetime, I would say. Very, very rare. Yes. Most of the world deals with mechanical speech. Even people who deal with literature and philosophy, even there, it is very, very hard, because it demands a lot of, how do you say, I would not say sacrifice, but uses this word. What does it mean? We have to remove from ourselves many, many, many layers of what we think we are and who we are. And those layers, we some people, they like to live with those layers. It gives them a lot of self-importance and holding. It feels that they feel it's part of them. It builds their business card in the world. But the more you approach those inner meanings, there's more need to sacrifice more and more every day to peel another peel. And not many people are willing to make this sacrifice. Every day that we live, or moment that we breathe, there is ability to give a sacrifice, to sacrifice something. Every person in his domain or in his world, so to speak. And the more a person manages somehow to sacrifice, to peel those layers from himself, he gets closer to God and to the Word, because we see God, Elohim, is the Word, is one between them. And the art in this life is to make this sacrifice. It's an art form. It's not a matter of weighing things on a scale like in a supermarket to weigh how many apples. It's an art form. Where and when to sacrifice and how and much. And it's like injustice also. It's very interesting.
It's amazing. It's interesting that it connects what we were saying in our last sessions, like the growth of the child. You said before, I think in our last session, that you must be aware, like the child once eat bananas, and so after some days she don't like more the bananas. I know that it's just an analogy, but it's like we have to grow up in the spiritual realm as well. We have to make the sacrifice and leave behind some things that seems to us very familiar and natural, but it do not fit in the other realms, something like this.
Yes. Every day when a person, I don't know, it depends of a personal development, how many times a day or at least once a day a person sits with himself and see his thoughts and his feeling. He follows what comes to him, and he sees what thoughts of feeling are good or maintaining his life, and what things has to be removed. If we take care of the table, let's say there's a dinner table and people ate already, and we clear the table. So we see, let's say, if there's a complete apple remained, so we can use it the next day or so. What is not good or what is we cannot use, we remove and we wash. The same thing is good when we take this cleaning of the table and we clean the table inside of us every day and see what kinds of thoughts and feeling are moving us forward and what kinds of thoughts and feelings are keeping us back. And those that are not serving us anymore, we have to move or to let them go. And we shall move with ideas and feelings that brings us to the future. This kind of movement is known also as flourishing. In America, North America, the research shows that only 18% experience this. It's very rare. Only 18% people experience this. But it's I put you're laughing because it has a meaning.
How could it's very interesting, and Etty, like you know that we make a lot of connections. Listen to you, it's an experience for itself, and I'm thinking we know that it's something rare, you know, but how could they measure the 18%? I was thinking, like, because it's something so sensitive, so hidden, you know, so
yes. In a non-linear way, 18 also comes for the word chai, alive in Hebrew. I find it. How do they measure it? There's a beautiful Wikipedia page, very interesting. And there's deep research. But what does it mean even to be alive? Because most of the residents of the universe not really alive or flourishing according to this. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. How many people are scanning their values every day, their thoughts, their feelings, and they look into them or look into the 24-hour or whatever cycle that they can follow and see what happened, what kind of a thought did I have, what kind of emotion was attached to it, what action did I take or didn't take, and this gap between thought and action and so. How many people are doing this work, this inner work? Not many. But those who do this work, their life is, they live life in a different dimension. It's a work. It's a work. Because it's not like a person comes to the office from 8 to 5. No, because the subconscious and the conscious, they work, as long as we breathe, they work in us 24/7. It is very intense, and it depends how much intensity we want to take, or we can host in our lives. Most people do not like to have intensity. They like to rest and to chill, or to take a step back, and it's enough for them. Some people do not accept it as a mode of living. It's a choice. This is a choice, basically, that a person makes.
It's like, yes, it's beautiful. You went very deep, and I thank you.
You're welcome.
Eti,
Yes.
following Felipe's question, I was going to ask something very similar. So if we take the word Sarai, I was also wondering about the root. But for example, if we take Sarai and add El, it becomes Israel. Okay. So in a way, is the name Sarai forecasting the birth of Israel?
Yes,
Or
definitely. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, if you could say something on this regard, because I was also thinking about this Sar, this root, because it appears in many other places, even like in Assur, and so I was trying to to imagine all the ramifications that come from there.
Yes, first of all, yes, there is a relation. Yes, there's more questions that you'd like to ask?
No, just remain with the forecast of Israel.
Sarai has to do with the name of Israel. Sarai and Israel has to do with each other. As you see, those 3 letters are appearing in her name. So there is a relation. Sar is a minister. Sar is a minister. Yes. And what the sages are saying about the Hebrew letters, except of the fact that the Shin and Resh, they make 500. Except of this fact, they're telling us another hint. Look at the structure of the letter. How many times we find vertical lines, and how many times we find horizontal. It is very, very important to understand and to go another layer deeper. I don't give you the complete answers because I wish that you will find them. I always try to encourage you to think and in a way give you a direction, because the whole thing is that a person will discover his question, or through his question a person will discover a path that fits him. Do you understand?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yes.
Just one of the things I was wondering about this specific point of the vertical and the horizontal lines is that it becomes the symbol of Israel. The Star of David is also for vertical lines or transversal lines into horizontal lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, we can count how many we have. Like, it's interesting. This is what do we have? How many horizontal? You don't have to answer now.
Yeah, we have the two bases of the triangles, which are horizontal, and the other four, which are vertical, that connect the top of the pyramid of the triangles.
Mm-hmm. Questions? Rodrigo, questions? Good morning.
Hello, good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Just trying to follow these beautiful lessons. Thank you very much, Ed.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Fernando, question?
I'm connecting everything that because was very intense reading the Vine Rab yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
This topic on Sarai, and I'm very happy to listen to these words you cannot imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking that he made Vine Rab also made like a connection between the pharaoh and the bull, the bull, because he says that once we came to this world starts with the sign of the bull, the par.
Mm-hmm.
And once we have this manifestation, once we came to this world, it's like he connects the pharaoh to the manifested, like our astral chart or something like that. He refers that the astral chart starts the world's astral chart. It starts with the bull, and he connects it with the pharaoh. And the Sarai is the most beautiful woman. It's the word, like you said. It's something that came from Canaan and came from beyond. So, and when it came to this world, it must be protected.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just thinking about all of this and thinking about Sarai within ourselves, like and what you said about cleaning up every day and trying to find this.
Fernando,
Yes,
if
yes.
I may add to your thought, I was precisely thinking about the root of Sar or Sarai, which is Shin and Hash, which also forms shore, which is a synonym for par. It's also a bull.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Interesting.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. Yes. Yes. It is interesting because Pharaoh is 355. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Is like time. La Luna. Luna. Yes. And Sarai is the word. And she comes from beyond time. This is why Abraham hides her. Do you understand why he has to hide her from Pharaoh?
Yes.
Because she carries a secret from beyond time.
And that's why she's sister from Abraham. I remember what Shelton asks. We can,
Yes. Yes.
because she has the Hokmah, the wisdom.
Yes. Yes.
Say to wisdom that you are my sister. You said once.
Yes. Say, Emor la-chokhmah, say to the wisdom, you are my sister. Yes. So the Egyptians want the wisdom, but Israel or the believer, they need the grace. So there is a separation between them. There are many, many ways to look at this story of them approaching. And please pay attention, they did not descend to Egypt. The Bible says that they were approaching Egypt. Verse 11, he was approaching or near to enter. He did not go, please pay attention, so like their children, they're approaching Egypt, approaching. In a way, we have 4 couples, and each one of them maintain wisdom. We have the 4 letters. Abraham, and Sarai, I would say, let me think, please, in a way. Let's write it a bit differently, because there are many ways. So one way is to say that Abraham and Sarah, they are the manifestation of the Hay. Yitzchak and Rivka, Isaac and Rebecca, they are manifestation of the Vav. And Jacob, in a way, there are two couples here. There is Jacob and Rachel, and Israel and Leah. When here, the Yod is basically Adam and Eve. Have you met this drawing before?
No.
No.
No, this comparison is a new one.
Yes.
It's a new one? It's the first time you see that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, something new.
Adam and Eve, they were like the Yod, the covenant in the Garden of Eden. They kept the full 10, so to speak, the full potential of us as humans in the Garden of Eden. This is why they are associated with the Yod, with the wisdom, with the divine wisdom. Abram and Sarah with the Hay, with the Binah, because you said that her name was Sarai, and we have a division of 2 Hays, Sarah and Abraham, and here we find the Hay. Also, Abraham gave birth to Isaac at 100. 100 is Me'ah in Hebrew, but also Amah, cubit. We shall explain this later. Isaac gave birth to his twins when he is 60 years old. Vav is 6. 6 double 10 is 60. He gave birth to the twins when he is 60 years old. The Vav we count in decades. The Hay with digits. The upper Hay, Binah, we count in hundreds. And the Yod of wisdom we count in thousands. This is why Adam, according to the divine plan, had to live 1,000 years. Do you understand?
Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't follow 60 to Isaac and Esau, what it means. the number 60.
Yes, Yitzhak married Rebecca when he was 40 years old. But 20 years, the couple could not deliver children. 20 years. So 40 plus 20 is 60. Isaac becomes a father when he is 60 years old.
Yes, thank you.
And this is, in a way, a reflection of the Vav, the spirit.
Yes.
It is. I'm sorry. Can I just ask one thing? That
Of course.
the mea, it's on bina. The cubit, it's on bina. If you could just clarify. So.
Yes. Abraham was 100 years old when his son. Yes. Abraham was 100. 100 in Hebrew, not in numbers, but in letters, is me'ah. But also when we switch the letters and we write the aleph before the mem, we get amma. Amma is a cubit. So also the organ of a man, the foundation in the Hebrew literature, is named amma. Amma. Abraham circumcised himself when he was 9 years old. Circumcised himself. Plus 1 year of the pregnancy. When he was 100 years old, Me'ah, Isaac was born, meaning the cubit was ready to deliver a child from the beyond. From 100, we are counting a different, so to speak, hundreds. Do you understand?
Yes, perfect. Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. If you have questions, please ask. Do you understand the sketch?
This, yes.
Yes.
Felipe, if you have questions, Rodrigo, Shelton, please do ask. If you don't, I will explain it again and again.
No, I understand it. It's quite beautiful.
Why does Abraham was requested to circumcise himself when he was 99 years old?
Because this is interesting because it's when he reaches Binah, and it is the beyond time and space, the 8th day.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Today I was meant to make a question. I will do. It's like forgive me if it is silly. I was thinking, why did God bless and consecrated the 7th day and not the 8th day?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was reading on VineReb, and it's a question to just thought about, and because the 8th day is the infinite, what is beyond time and space, and just all that you are saying now, it's linking us with this. Because when you reach the 8th day, the beyond time and space, you circumcise, you make this connection. I was just thinking that this 8th day is so blessed. It is so special, and it is for me. It's just a new thing to think about. How special is the 8th day, and this relation, the 7 and the 8. It's a subject that interested. I am very interested.
So you're asking the following, basically. You're asking why God blessed the 7th and not the 8th, yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Because here we have 7, the 8th is here, the Binah. And why God blesses the 7 and not the 8? Mm-hmm. 7 is a composition of what? 3 and 4. Spirit and matter. So there is a blessing on spirit and matter together. This is what God gives, but we give is the 8th day. And this is why, according to the tradition, they circumcise the baby on the 8th day. This is what we give. This.
We bless the 8th day.
We give, in a way, our belief in the act of the 8th day. I don't speak about now the act, but about the idea. The 7 or the 7 days perception has been given to us. This is the structure in nature. This is print in nature. But what we bring is our work is the belief of the 8th day.
Yes. Because, when Weinreb says, he points that the 7th day, the Shabbat, did not end. It did not end in the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, just the 5 books of Torah are in the 7th, because Moshe did not enter the promised land. It was Joshua that entered. And I was just with this kind of thoughts on this.
Again?
Oh, I am just thinking about it. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You speak about, you read in Weinreb.
That the 7th day didn't end. It was the 6 days of creation had this Erev and Boker.
Yes, it's true. Yes,
and
6.
And the Shabbat did not end, and it isn't mentioned, the ending of the day of the Shabbat.
That's true.
And then I was thinking, well, but this is a quality of the 8th day, I guess, the eternal quality. So I was intrigued because, what is the relation between both of them? They are both on the eternity.
Yes, lechem. Lechem and chalom, and a dream.
Oh, that's...
Yes, a dream.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Wow.
Do you understand that the word of God to Abraham had to be manifested through Abraham himself, circumcise himself to adapt himself to the word that comes from beyond? Do you understand?
Could we say that it's related what you said before, A.T., that we have to sacrifice the layers?
Yes, yes. I give you a promise, but your vessel has to be ready to receive the promise. And what is the vessel? The letter Hey. Weinreb speaks about this beautifully. Ishmael, do you remember when Ishmael was born? Do you remember Ishmael?
Yes.
Yes.
He was born when Abraham was 86 years old. What is 86?
Elohim.
Elohim. And when Abraham was 99 years old, God asked him what? To circumcise himself.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. So he did. And 1 year later, Isaac was born. Isn't that right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Now, what is the difference between 86 and 100 in numbers?
14.
14.
14.
Hmm.
1 to 4.
Do you see the relation between those children?
Yes. Beautiful.
Ishmael, yes, Ishmael was born, so to speak, from a cubit, I would say, a cubit of foundation without a circumcision. They speak about this in the Zohar a lot. This is why he deals with war all the time and battles. While when Isaac was born, and he is the son of the promise, he was born, so to speak, from a vessel that has a commitment. And this is why the commitment goes directly from
Wow.
Abraham. And all of those names has to do with the tetragrammaton. We show this in a sketch. Rodrigo found it. Abraham has to do with the tetragrammaton. Isaac is how many times tetragrammaton?
I think
8.
it's, yes,
Eight.
8.
Eight times.
Yes.
And Jacob is 7 times.
7.
And Joseph is 6 times tetragrammaton. This is the son of the promise. Do you see how it's structured, all of this? It's not a coincidence.
Yes.
Also, Elohim is the name of God in judgment. Have you heard this before, the concept that Elohim is also in the name of God in judgment?
Yes.
Or it's new to you? And the tetragrammaton is the name of God in love and mercy.
Wow. Yes.
And how many years lived Isaac? Do you remember? 180 years. Longer than his father, Abraham, and longer than his son, Jacob. Questions? I know it's not easy to digest.
Not at all. Just I was remembering something at the, from before, that Sarah had to be hidden. I was thinking if it could relate it to the lechem, to the lechem that should be hidden, covered.
Yes.
The mercy, the grace. I mean,
Very good. The word and the dream and the bread.
Yes,
they are hidden. Not in front everyone we tell a dream. Not in front everyone we say a certain concept.
Yes.
It's interesting because we have here the same relation Elohim and Hashem, right? The Milah is related to Elohim, the Olam and the Lehem to Adonai. So what Felipe brought about the word, the dream, and the bread.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful, this taking care of this spirit.
Mm-hmm. Why a person of a secret is named in Hebrew Baal Sod, the owner of a secret, because he can distinguish. First of all, he noticed there is a secret in the world, and he cherished the secret. A person that is called Baal Sod, the owner of a secret, you can tell him things that you can trust him in secret. Questions? Yes, Leo.
Yes, you were speaking about the Lehem with connection to the 78 and the Halom dream, but also it is Melach, the salt, right?
Melach is a salt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And I was wondering two things about the salt or the bread or the dream. The first one that is 2 times the tal, which is how do you say it, the dew. And also I was wondering why the word war is composed by salt, melachma.
Why the word war has to do with salt?
Yes.
Yes. And the word ma. Yes.
Yeah, it appears to me, if we take the concepts of mi and ma, it's some sort of profanation.
Yes. Yes. Why does the word war in Hebrew is composed of 2 words, melach, salt, and ma, what? or human. What does the word war in Hebrew try to tell us?
Something like being human is being in the duality state, the warring state.
We can say so, yes. Or we can say that the cause of the war is what? To be human. The cause or what motivates war. Basically, our wars inside of ourselves, our struggles inside is to become human. It's a constant struggle to become human.
I was thinking that the word for war is also lechem, or similar to lechem. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. We can say that our bread is also the spirit, the human spirit, our bread. Our bread is, a person is nourished. Person's nourishment is the human spirit. Some people, if you give them only a plate to eat, they feel, some people, not everyone, they feel ashamed. Even if they pay for a plate, they feel ashamed because the food comes without a word, without a spirit. It's like body without a spirit. To be in battle, we, in Hebrew, lacham is a person who was in a battle, like lechem, like bread. And our battle in life, again, is to have this manna, the heavenly bread, the spirit.
It's interesting that connects again what you said before. To remove the layers, I think that we must get to this war, this inside war.
Inside, all the time inside.
Not a literal war, right?
No.
This sin, it's only to literalize everything that it's on the... But it's not something easy, right? Because it's...
This is why we are gathering here and we speak about this and we try to circle the topic from different angles. There is a blessing in Hebrew for the bread. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, takes bread outside of the earth, so to speak, literally. But the thing is to take the spirit, to release the spirit from the will. Haaretz is not just an earth, but also ratzon. And in a way, when we bless, we give a blessing of the bread, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, is to take out the spirit from the inner will, which is printed in us, because most people, they have earthly will for wealth and for to gather more material. And this is the kavanah, this is the intention of blessing the bread. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. The intention is that to take, in a way, with our struggles, to take the spirit, to release the spirit which is stuck in the matter. This is hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
How do we say this?
Hamotzi, the blessing of the bread. Hamotzi.
It's Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Is that right?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Mean? Yes. To take the spirit. Do you understand this?
Yes, you give us it. I have to say that you give a gift just saying that, because I often make this blessing in the morning, just or even if it's inner.
Mm-hmm.
But it's to bless the food and to know that it's not for granted. It's a blessing to eat a bread and everything. But now you pointed the way what it means. It's so beautiful. It bring me a lot of joy thinking that it's like to try to discover the will of the spirit, like to
yes, excellent. And if you take the 3 first letters from lechem min haaretz, it's lama or what, but also milah, a word. We have to, all the time, there's a discussions inside of ourselves, in thoughts, also in words, if we have a friend to share, and we speak with words, but to find in those words, in the sentences that we speak inside of our head or with a friend, what is it? To discover the spirit in the word. This is it.
Wow. Thank you, Eti. Wow.
Welcome.
Just another perspective is that triangle with the 3 and the 4, which lead us to the 5. And I guess we talked about last session, but I was trying to make this relation between 7 and 8. When you develop the 3 and the 4, you get the 5, and the sum of it, all of it, is 50. So we get to the 8th day, the Jubilee, the moon, and the eternal, by developing the spirit and the matter.
Yes.
We have 25 plus 25 in all it's so beautiful because everything fits at the end. It's very...
Because 9 and 16 is 25.
Yeah.
Yes.
And 5 in the power of 2 is 25, and then we have 50. 50 gates.
When we develop the 7, we get the 8.
Excellent.
In a way.
Excellent. Is it hard to learn like this?
No,
Exactly the contrary. It's perfect.
beautiful.
Awesome.
Yes, it's
I
it's
I
a
love
Because
like that.
relief.
because usually people do not approach the Bible like this.
No,
Not at all. So I ask you if it's hard, but you say it's not.
if I may just say a word, sorry, by I am
No.
a little talking a lot today, but
No.
you know, last week I could made a session with some friends
Good.
about what we've been talking about, and it was very interesting because Fernando also participated, but it was with two other friends that did not know Hebrew at all, and even do not have much knowledge about the Bible. But I was just took the first verse of Bereshit, and with numbers, and just making a conversation as we do. And for them, I get the feedback that was very thrilling, and it wasn't boring. It was very fruitful.
Yes.
Just conversing and talking, and what we do here, but in another level, in a much more simpler level. But the spirit was there. Uh, you know,
Yes.
it was beautiful. So
Good.
it's good to learn like this. It's. I think it's the only way nowadays. I think this is the way. The only way.
What do you feel when you speak to people about those things? I mean, during the conversation and shortly after, what happens to you? If I may ask, if you have a few more moments, because I did not ask permission to ask your time to converse about it. So if it's possible to speak about it now or later, I did not ask permission. So do you have more time, or you need to go to your day or so?
I have it.
I can
Yes.
stay.
You can stay.
Yes, you can stay. Can
When
you? Yes.
I was gonna answer that when we talk about this, like we are doing right now, or in other circumstances, we feel joyful. So we want to go on indefinitely if we could.
Good. Because why do I ask? Because I thought if you have the time, I thought to add another meeting, because at the moment we are having 2 meetings, Monday and Thursday. So I thought if we add another meeting on Saturday, does it fit your plans? It's just an offering. This is just an offering. And you can think of it. I thought to add another session because I sense there is a need for another one. And I would be glad to meet. And it depends on your participation. It's not a must or so. This is just an offering because I feel in the heart there's a need to converse, and also I wish that you will share more from the classes that you give. I would like to give you the time to speak of your experience in class, and I thought to do it on Saturday if it fits you.
I will be here.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Please, because I noticed like a curve inside, and we shall again shift the lessons. Things will change from now. I cannot forecast how and how many, but we shall start with a Shabbat session this week, and we shall see how does it move along with our lives and what the Spirit wants, and we shall continue with it. Okay?
Wow, it's great news. I thank you very much. Would be great to be here on Shabbat.
Awesome. Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you,
so
Shabbat. Shabbat, no. Just shalom.
Have a
Just
new week.
shalom.
Thank you.
Shabbat tov,
Thank you.
Shabbat tov.
Shabbat tov. Thank you for coming. I really missed you. Really.
Well,
Yeah.
me too. It's
Great to
Thank you very much.
amazing to be here. Thank
See you
you.
on Thursday. See you on Thursday. Great.
Bye.
See you Thursday.
see you guys.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.